Good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming to the today's Restaurant News Networking Group. Today is February 28th, and we are a group of vendors who are here to try and help each other grow our businesses. My name is Howard Appel. I'm the founder and publisher of today's Restaurant News, and we are positioning ourselves as a resource for the restaurant industry. So if a restaurant owner, manager, chef, anybody with a kitchen has an issue or a question they'd like to have help with, I encourage you to give us a call at 561 620 8888 or go to our website at trnusa.com and check out our YouTube channel, which is today's restaurant, and it's accessible through our website at trnusa.com. And please subscribe and like when you're there. It helps us to grow our exposure on the channel. So we have a new face on the board this morning, Jack Speece. So I want to ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, what your company does, where you're located, and how we can reach you.
Yeah, sounds good. So Jack Speece, I'm down in Charlotte, North Carolina. I work for a company called Instant Financial. We're based out of Atlanta, Georgia. We do digital tips. So we take the physical cash out of the restaurants for full service restaurants, or really any type of restaurant that has tips that need to get paid daily. We can digitize it so the restaurants don't have to keep a bunch of cash on hand. We do earned wage access, so employees can get access to their wages, the portion that's earned in between payrolls if they need it for like a quick emergency. We see that a lot with the hourly workers, especially in the quick service space, a lot of your fast food restaurants. And then we have a pay card that's in an instant payable status, which works out well for a lot of those that may be unbanked or they're minors and they can't get a traditional like money network pay card. So we tend to do those three things. We've got a host of name brand clients, a lot of the large Wendy's, McDonald's, Church's Chicken franchisees, and then on the kind of the full service side, we've got Bloomin' Brands. I think 8 of the 10 largest Applebee's franchisees, quite a few of the Papa John's franchisees. So tends to be a pretty good solution in the space. And the nice thing about it is there's no cost to our clients or to their employees for doing it. We make our revenue off of the interchange fees. So the funds are put onto a digital card that they can then move anywhere. They can use it at a free ATM. They can use it like a regular debit card and purchase things with it, or they can send it onto their bank account. And then anytime the card portion of it is used, just like any merchant, they have merchant fees for use of a card. Those transaction fees, our card's based on Visa. Visa gives us a cut of the revenue that comes from those transaction fees via our card. So that's our revenue model, which is why we can do it without fees to our customers. So that's who we are and what we do. And getting a hold of me, my email is jack.speece@instant.co. There's no .com, it's .co. And then my number is 917-273-7701. And that's my cell. Nice to meet y'all. Thanks for letting me join.
Okay, welcome.
Great to have you.
You in our conversations yesterday, you said that you work with POS companies and you work with a lot of different companies that you affiliate with. So is that something, Herb, that you're aware of?
I've never heard of your service. It sounds amazing. I'm Herb Denmark. I own Merchant Services International for 30 years. Your service sounds pretty amazing. We definitely need to talk after this meeting.
Yeah, happy to do so. Like the nice thing about ours is basically a deduction file. Like we front the funds for any of the tip wages or the earned wage access. And then we just literally, we're tapped into, we're integrated with almost every POS, every payroll or HCM out there. So we get the feeds and then we just send a deduction file directly into the payroll system. So when it goes to run its payroll run, it's just an additional deduction code to net out any advanced funds or already paid funds. And then we get reimbursed that way. So it's no additional headache on the payroll companies or whatever service they're using to run out their regular payroll or the in-house payroll team, which I think is why it's worked because anything that adds extra work to those teams isn't going to go well. So ours is really kind of we up front, if we're not already integrated, we set up the integration. If we are, we just literally get whatever deduction code they want used in their payroll system, plug that in, and then it's automated from there.
How do you work with
Incredible.
PEOs?
Same way.
Okay,
It's
same thing.
it's very similar. We get in most cases they're using Prism. The few that aren't tend to be using UKG. We're integrated with both of those. So we with the client we figure out what deduction code they want on there. In rare cases, we see it more with I would say more of your developmental franchise type companies where they may have a complicated type of structure to how they run their payrolls and how they do their compensation. There's some carried interest in the new restaurants. In those cases, we may need to work with them to get their chart of accounts to make sure we have a deduction code that doesn't disrupt anything. But that's it. We just integrate in. With the PEOs, it's actually phenomenal for us because we can partner with the PEO. We do the know your customer and all the banking regulations with the PEO, and then we can just literally be a payroll election. When a new employee comes on, they can choose direct deposit to their bank account. They can choose right onto the card. Every employee is automatically approved. And it can be in a payable status literally like the day they log in. So for us, it works out well, and they like it because, a lot of times
Is there a fee? Is there a fee to the PEO?
no, usually there's revenue share to the PEO.
Revenue share at PEO. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. I need to get your number. If you'll say your number again, I'd appreciate it, and I'll reach out to you later.
Yeah, it's 917-273-7701. And that's my cell.
Perfect.
I was in New York
Thank
for
you.
quite a few years, and we moved to Charlotte about 10 years ago at this point, but I'm too stupid to learn a new number, so we kept the old one.
Jack, I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
What was the name of your company?
Instant Financial. It's literally www.instant.co.
In my conversations with Jack yesterday, I sort of tested the water, thinking of Jeremy and Herb in particular, to make sure that there would be some kind of symbiotic relationship with him being here. And I'm glad to see that we have that. So that's great.
Thank you.
Well, welcome aboard, Jack.
Thank you.
Glad to have you.
Yeah.
And a couple of people from the group were at the NAFEM Show, which is being held in Atlanta. Today's the last day.
Yep.
And Brian and Ed were there. Ed, what were your thoughts on the show?
There were a tremendous number of water process.
You're still having trouble with
So they were purifying water, wastewater work. It's something the motel. I can't help it. Not much robotics.
Ooh. Wow, that's surprising.
Yeah, only a couple of robotics. As I said, there was sections from China there, from Brazil, and from Turkey had their own separate areas. And the Chinese group off to the side were actually the Taiwanese had a section area off the Chinese area.
Mm-hmm.
Were they fighting?
But Ed, what Ed was talking about is the robotics. We talked about robotics several months ago about robots in restaurants, and I sent Howard. I guess he maybe tried to show it. But did you see them where the robotics were trying to use the fryers? Did you see that, Ed?
That was good.
That was
It was two
wow.
sets of
It was
robots.
wild.
2 sets of robots.
Yeah. So
Because it would cook the fries or the onion rings, dump it, salt it, and then put it into containers and put the containers into racks down below. So it was completely automatic.
Which
And
country?
two sets of robots, one in
Yeah.
the front, one in the back. And the only person who was there was the one who was programming it as to what they were going to put in what fryer.
But there was also, I don't know if you saw that kind of in the middle. I think it was in C. They also had robotics making cocktails.
Yep.
You saw that? That was kind of
No
cool.
way.
Yeah. That was the
That's not
wildest thing.
Yep.
It was but it was a good show. What do you think, Ed?
Good show. There was a lot of people that I interacted with, if I could say it that way.
Yeah.
People I hadn't seen, a couple of businesses that I was not aware of. So it was nice to see. It was
Yeah.
good.
It was good.
Maybe they'll be at the Florida Restaurant Show.
Yeah.
Joe just jumped on. Joe, are you at the show?
Could be.
Looks like he is, but Joe Leach, are you at the show? Not
Uh-oh.
All right, we'll catch him when he comes
He's
back.
at a different show.
And then I know you got to run, so why don't you give us your intro so that Jack will know who you are. Everybody else watching.
I don't know who I am this morning, Howard. So that's a different story. I'm Ed Gerton, Seco Sales. We're an equipment supply company that specializes in frozen dessert equipment. And we're based out of Orange Park, Florida, which is just outside of Jacksonville, Florida. So we have ice cream machines from BGI and Carpigiani, batch freezers from BGI and Carpigiani, shake machines, frozen drink machines, display cases from IFE, ESA, and GTI Design, and blast freezers. You can reach me at 904-334-4489.
Okay, thanks.
Jack, you don't need to write all this down. I don't know if Howard mentioned it. I could have missed it. But at the end, he does a spreadsheet with everybody's information on it. So I see you feverishly writing everything down. So you'll get everything at the end. He sends it out.
Thank you, because I probably couldn't read my own chicken scratch anyways.
Joe, were you at the show, or did you go at all?
No, our purchasing department did go to NAFEM. I stayed back to hold down the fort here at the warehouse. Sorry I'm late, y'all. I had a busy morning of getting some deliveries out.
That's okay.
You're allowed.
Appreciate it.
All right, so Brian, what besides the robotics, what else hit you at the show?
Just, a lot of more automation. I mean, just a lot of just programming and just not so much hands-on. A lot of stuff like that. Just that there was a company called Chill Light, and that's become more. A lot of this has become more prevalent. There's a company called Table Tap, which is designed for like bars or avenues, but this one does a similar thing where, you give them your credit card and then you have a band or whatever, and you can go up and just wave it and get your beverage, and then charges it. So there's a lot of stuff like that. There's still, big push on other things. Met some people that from Frymaster that I knew, and just more again for people that drink a lot of coffee. There's a lot of changes in the machines now. I mean, they're getting, more touch screen type thing. Just everything's kind of compact. So if you want a light coffee, get a coffee, and then you push a button and it gives you cream. I mean, it's just a lot of different things haven't seen in years, but yeah, it's and then the big push is these pizza ovens, the more European looking thing. There's a lot of companies that have been doing that. There was some demos I watched, but yeah, it's just things are changing in the industry a lot. So
Yeah, Brian, you're right about the pizza ovens. There must have been 25 dome pizza oven makers there.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah,
I don't know if they all do about the same, but I think it's more trying to appeal to more customers, get them into the
were
restaurant and kind of
that were firing up,
yeah.
and most of them, they had two options. One for wood, and they also had gas because, as the one guy said, in California we can't sell the wood stoves. It has to be
Mhm.
gas right now. He
Yeah,
said even then gas is almost impossible to get. So he says
yeah.
we can't do it electric. So I don't know what they're going to do.
And you know who else is they had some one of the ones I was trying to send to you, Ed, is actually two of them, Rational and what's the other one? Rational and Altrasham had a big presence there. They had a
That's
big,
now.
so that's, you know, those were the big
They
things.
always
But
do. Rationale is huge. And so
Yeah,
It's a
um,
European company.
were there a
yeah.
lot of brick oven pizzas displayed? With the actual brick oven pizzas that are,
no,
because I'm finding
Mo-
I'm doing.
Terry, most of those are all the dome type now.
Right. Okay.
They were dome type,
Okay.
Yeah.
and they
Brian,
had
did you?
fancy designs on the outside.
Okay.
But I was actually talking to a friend of mine that's been with this company called Oil Solutions for years. They do they help with the oil and make it last longer or whatever. And he was saying this show was good. He says he's gone to Nax, which is the convenience store. He's been to a couple other ones, but I think I talked to you about that, Ed, about the national NRA is not like what it used to be. So my guy Corby was saying it's not like what it used to be for NRA, but he said this show was really good for them. So
The show that we as a group
the
participated
Florida show's good too.
was, in Florida, which was part pizza show and part Florida show. That was really a good show last year, and it's going to be better this year. And we're going to participate again. We should have at least 12 booths going
Mhm.
into this, next year.
And
So,
they already have a ton of booths sold. If you look on their site,
yeah.
it's crazy. They've already started sending everything out. So we're doing releases on them and stuff too as well.
Hey, Brian,
Right.
I'm just curious about NAFEM. Did you see much of a presence by Atosa?
Yes.
Yeah, I did. And that Atosa was huge. They were in the was it I think it was B or C, but they had a big presence there. And I know the guy that's I guess the VP of sales there. Do you know a guy named Richard Gorwitz?
I don't know Richard
Yeah,
personally.
guy.
I work with Joe Hunt predominantly, and Gigi
Okay.
is our direct rep. But we saw a lot of their products. That's one of our best performing lines. And I know that they were branching into some more exotic things, combi ovens as well. So I
Yeah,
wasn't sure if
yeah.
they had.
Yeah, I saw them. They had a big presence there. They're going to have a presence at a show that me and Ed are going to be at next week at the petroleum show.
Oh, cool.
The restaurant, or it's not restaurant, it's convenience store industry. But yeah, they were a big presence there. So a lot of people in their booth and everything. So,
Nice.
but yeah, they did pretty good there.
All right, Brian, why don't you do your intro as long as you're
Okay.
at it?
Okay. I'm Brian. I'm with a company called Rogue Financial Group. I work all over the country. I'm a commercial equipment financing company from small projects, large projects. We do a lot of startups, different things. I help vendors get to their clients if they need financing. What else I do? A little dragging a little bit here today, but again, Brian with Rogue Financial Group. Again, I'm a commercial financing company, and a little bit different than you can call it leasing, but more likely it's a loan and they own it at the end. And again, I can be reached at 404-723-7222. Thanks.
Okay, thanks. Charles, hey, welcome back.
Hey everybody, how you doing? My
Good.
name's there we go.
Charles, your hair looks
Everything.
good like that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's a little.
It naturally does that. Just
I thought I'd throw that out.
The Superman twirl.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, my dad is out of this world. So I work a company's on the fly food safety. We primarily do the ServSafe Manager course in 4 hours versus the 12-hour, including testing that you would do online. We also can do food handlers for you as well in Florida. And if you need to reach me, you can call me at 904-923-2577 or email me at info, that's INFO, at ontheflyfoodsafety.com.
Are you exclusive to Florida, or can you work in Georgia too?
I work in Georgia too. I just don't do the food handlers up in Georgia.
Okay, good. All right. Jeremy, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. How y'all doing?
Good.
Sorry, I missed y'all last week. I was doing just a lot going on. Thank y'all for once again having me in the group. I'm with Worksite PEO, so we are your full back office solution. We do specialize in restaurants, guys. So this group is great for us because 45% of our clients are restaurants. And then the rest of them are all the other trades and businesses you can think of. So one thing that sets us apart is we do have a great workers' comp rebate program available to restaurants that keep their workers' comp policy clean for a year. They'll get 10% back as long as they have $5,000 in premium. So a little bit larger restaurant will have that premium and they can potentially earn some money back as a credit to their invoice. Additionally, we do the FICA tip tax credit at no cost to them. Most firms that actually do it will charge anywhere from 10 to 40%. We don't take a dime. We put it as quarterly installments throughout the year. So we front the money. So that's an incredible way for them to create some margin throughout the year and lower their expenses instead of hoping that it will offset all their taxes at the end of the year. So we can give them real-time money to use throughout the year. And then we are family-owned. We're based out of Northport, Florida. And we just do a really good job of keeping our clients. Our 2024 retention rate was 99.1%, guys. So that means I lose less than one client per 100 to competition. Obviously, that number doesn't include people shutting down or, someone buying up a restaurant and them telling us to kick rocks because they got their own guy, right? But we do a great job of really just doing a white glove service, concierge style PEO. We're not your typical PEO. No is not in our vocabulary. So we do our best to say yes to everybody. I'm based in Jacksonville. I cover all of South Georgia, all the way to the Panhandle, down to Daytona, over to Gainesville. So I've got a very large territory. So if you think it's too far for me, it's probably not. I'm actually taking a client in Tampa. So it's not my territory, but we don't have a rep there right now. So I get to have it. So yay for me. But yeah, so best way to reach me is 904-295-5110. And my email is Jeremy, just like it says on my screen there, with 2 E's at worksiteemployee.com. So that's what I got for you.
I want to mention that Worksite Employee is starting a half-page ad in our March issue, which we just finished proofing, so it should be up on Monday.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
Yeah, go away. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris Kaufman, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Chris Kaufman, as it has been for the last number of years. Primarily recruit restaurant management talent. Restaurant all-stars is what we look for, putting aces in great places, and work on behalf of the client companies to bring them salaried management career professionals. Love to work with regional companies, independents, as well as New York Stock Exchange companies. And the key thing is, though, we feel that we can maximize their efforts for what they're trying to do in terms of acquiring talent. Can also give them advice on compensation, because we talk compensation all day long with everybody and anybody who we come in contact with in the restaurant business. And what was true 2 years ago for a chef in a $5 million restaurant is not true today. And the profile may change. And of course, if the profile does get dumbed down, then perhaps the dollars would be dumbed down. But the old saying, you get what you pay for, is so very true today. And we work on behalf of the client companies, primarily the Southeast United States, even though we just picked up an assignment up in Boston and just completed an assignment in New York City, but based out of Vidalia, Georgia, often referred to as the vacation spot for the stars. And if you don't know where it is, then perhaps you're not a star. But in any case, we provide all-star talent, 404 all-star, 404-255-7827. Have a great week.
Okay, thank you.
Ah.
Herb.
Good morning. How is everybody? Herb Denmark, Merchant Services. I've gotten to meet a couple of you off the show, and it's been very nice. Work with restaurants all over the country. We're offering them the dual pricing cash discount program where they don't have to pay any fees any longer. They pass them on to the customer. It's proven to be very effective. I work with 12 different processors around the country and in Canada, and collectively they're probably putting on anywhere between 15 and 25,000 new merchants a month in this arena, not just in restaurants, but in everything. Retail, wholesale, distribution. As I've said, almost a month now that I've been on board, it's been fun. I like working with you guys, getting to know you. It seems like every time I hang up this meeting, it triggers a lot of Rolodex information I need to go back to and pursue. The best way to reach me is 610-721-2793. Again, it's Herb Denmark at Merchant Services International.
Thank you. Steve, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Steve Whitehill. I'm a business broker and I help people buy and sell businesses. Today I'll tell you about one. So normally we talk about restaurants or something related. Today I have a restaurant equipment repair and used equipment sales company. It's in Marion, Florida. It does about $825,000 in gross sales, and on that they make $170,000, which is 20%, which is pretty typical for most businesses. It's a 4-year-old company. It's got 4.5 employees. One is part-time, and this business is selling for $170,000, and it includes essentially almost $300,000 worth of equipment. So it's kind of an interesting proposition, interesting deal, and they service really all of Central Florida. Anyway, that's just an example of what I have available for people to buy. My phone number is 561-376-7500, and you can also reach me at steve@anchorbb.com. Thank you.
That's actually a good business to buy now if you're in the market for buying a business. Used equipment business, and I'm sure Joe can talk to this. With all the big chains that are going out of business, there's a lot of used equipment on the market. And if you buy something today at an auction, or the value of it's going to rise over the next year or so. So you're making money on your money.
Mm-hmm.
So something to be
So
interesting.
real quick, Steve, you said it's a repair company, right?
Well, it does everything. Which is not terribly unusual. If you sell used equipment, generally speaking, you're going to have to repair it or be able to repair it. It doesn't always come out in working order. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in my past life. I was a dealer like Joe. I was in New York on the Bowery, and there were other dealers on the Bowery who specialized in used equipment, and they were in 3 and 4, 5-story buildings and a basement loaded with equipment. and if you ask somebody for a piece, they would take you down to the basement and show you exactly where that piece was. It's amazing.
Yep.
Speaking about pieces, how about a piece of pie, Andrew?
That was a good segue. I don't see myself on the looking at all the people up above. Can you guys see me?
I
Yeah.
only see half of you. I don't see your mouth.
Okay. I don't know what's going wrong this morning. I'm surprised up until this point I've been doing it right. I'm not a high tech person. I'm more of a low tech. But anyway, I'm Andrew Nass. I own the Concord Grape Pie Company, which is self-explanatory. I make pies out of Concord grapes. And for those that are new here, the way that came about was I grew up on a vineyard in upstate New York and worked in our family business growing grapes, growing Concord grapes and shipping Concord grapes to supermarket chains. So I know a lot about Concord grapes, and I moved over into the restaurant industry for last 10, 15 years of my life. So I learned my way around the kitchen and how to bake, how to cook. And so I had an idea about a year ago and implemented it about 6 months ago as to making grape pie. Grape pie. Nobody's ever heard of grape pie. I get that all day long. And so it gives me the opportunity to explain what a Concord grape pie is. And we've been primarily selling them at farmers markets around South Florida, and it's been going well. And little exciting news, we've gotten into a couple of restaurants now, a couple of local restaurants in Deerfield Beach and in Pompano. And they're giving it a shot. They're willing to take the chance and see how it goes. And so now we're moving into the restaurant segment. I have a little new exciting for us here in the kitchen. We've been selling the pies by the whole pie or a half a pie or even a slice. And I'm thinking about, instead of selling by the slice, to creating a mini pie, just a 4-inch mini pie. And so we've made some demos in the kitchen, practicing on that. And I came up with a great name for it, at least I think. I'm going to call them cutie pies, because just a little mini pie is, you get a lot of, oh, that's so cute. And people may buy the pie just on that factor alone. And it just came to me like a lightning bolt that I should call them cutie pies. So be on the lookout.
You'll have to tell the people who are local to Pompano and Deerfield where the pies are so we can go taste them. I've tried them. They're great.
Yeah. We're in Muddy Waters, a restaurant called Muddy Waters.
Right.
And
hey, I love that restaurant. I'll have to go there.
Yeah, they're a good customer of ours, Muddy Waters.
Okay, yeah. And they've been in business for 30 years, 40 years, something like that. They've changed ownership a few times, but the woman there was very excited about it and was
Do you know Beth by chance at Muddy Waters?
Yeah, that's who it is, Beth.
Awesome. Yeah, Beth's great.
And yeah, she's the kind of person we like to work with. She's willing to try something new, and yeah, I was really excited about giving the pies a shot, and so far so good. I'm looking. We started on a small basis, just a couple of pies, and I'm looking forward. I'm holding back from calling her just to see, how did it go? How did it go last night? Did you sell out? Do you need more? And so yeah. And then in the Cove in Deerfield Beach, there's an Irish
Yes.
pub.
Yes.
There's an Irish couple. Yeah, I don't exactly remember the name of it, but they're starting a couple. And in Pompano, the 26 Degree Brewery. You know that place?
Yep, another good customer of ours.
Yeah, I used to play trivia there.
Awesome.
Every once in a while I used to play trivia, and I got to know some of the people, and I marched on in, and just at the right time, they used to not have their own kitchen, and they just used food truck that would come in, but now they've turned over to a kitchen, and so yep. So building slowly. This is just like the information, Howard, that you sent me about the sweet potato pie company in Alabama or Mississippi, wherever it was, and
Right.
they have a $12 million value now or something to their name.
Yeah, they did. They did at one point. They did over $7 million in business.
Right. So maybe I'm in my first steps of that type of journey.
Yeah, look, it takes time to come up with a new product.
Yeah.
And to get it out to the industry. You know, nobody. You started from ground zero.
Yeah.
We have a company in the 11 o'clock group that started from zero as well, and they have utilized people in both groups to help them get on the road and get started and get a lot of information from. So that you're in the right place right now.
Yep. Yeah. They're out there. Thousands and thousands and thousands of restaurants are out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely so. So how do we reach you, Andrew?
My number, my personal cell, also originally from New York, and I've just kept it for 15 years. 315-651-2684. And then the email is concordgrapepie@gmail.com.
Isn't it the Concord Grape Pie?
Well, that's the company name, but just to make things confusing, my email is a little different.
Oh, okay, because I thought it was the Concord Grape Pie.
Yeah, the name of the company is the Concord Grape Pie Company. Yep, you're right. But my email is just.
I digress.
Yep.
The website is the.
Thank
anyway,
you.
If you're in the neighborhood, try those pies. They're really good.
Yeah, we're going
the peanut butter one.
Great.
Joe, good morning.
Good morning, y'all. My name's Joe Leach. I'm here representing Restaurant City. We are a restaurant equipment superstore. We've got a huge facility here, 20,000 square feet, stocked full of inventory. We are a family-owned business. So they started off in Waterbury, Connecticut, about 75 years ago. And about 10 years back, they decided to start branching out. So we opened up locations in Hackensack, New Jersey, in Providence, Rhode Island, and then here in Pompano Beach. We recently opened up in Sarasota as well. Here's a little tour of our facility, if I can walk and talk at the same time. Our sweet spot is really, we carry the inventory and we match price points of, the online retailers like your Webstronts and your K-Towns. We're very competitive inventory and price-wise with them. However, we still have the personal touch and expertise and customer service of a local dealer. So I do apologize. I was a little late on the call this morning, but I think what happened this morning kind of demonstrates our value. I had a customer call me on the way into work this morning saying, hey, we're in a bind. Our ice maker broke. We need one. We need it today. We need it delivered and installed. So between around 7:30 and 9:15, I was able to find the ice maker that meets their needs. We had it in stock, coordinate delivery of that ice maker, and then I reached out to one of our installing partners to set up the installation of that ice maker at 11 o'clock today. So, it's pretty rare that you have a company that can, one, have the inventory to do that, and then the relationships in place to turn something around that quickly. So that's kind of like an example of where Restaurant City would really shine. We sell all new equipment. We don't do the used equipment. There is definitely a lot of margin in used equipment, but like we discussed earlier, you really have to have a service team in place to supplement that with the used equipment. So we prefer to stick with new stuff and then, work with our factories to make sure that it's taken care of, and if there's any warranty service that is provided. My cell phone number is 850-687-3612. And my email is Joe Leach, that's JOELEACH at restaurantcity.com.
It's Joe's facility in Pompano, which I've been in, and being a former dealer, when I walked in there, my mouth dropped open because the amount of equipment that they have in inventory is amazing. And they've got 5 locations like this. It's 5 or 6 now?
5 locations now.
5 locations.
We're the second newest. Sarasota just opened up about a year and a half ago. That's the newest.
To have that kind of inventory in all those locations, it's huge. I mean, they've done a great job.
And to be able to do that, to get a piece of equipment in and installed the same morning, that's insane.
Yeah, I mean, can be stressful at times, but like stuff like that is what I really enjoy, when a customer is in a pickle and we're able to provide a service to make it all right for them. So that kind of is a fulfilling aspect of my job when we're able to deliver immediately.
Absolutely. Am I mistaken, or do you also have another location opening up in Davie?
No, that is actually a different location.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a different company. They're affiliated with Webstaurant.
Okay. Oh, Webstaurant. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
correct.
Sorry.
No problem. No problem.
I believe they're trying to come to Florida heavily, aren't they? They're trying to open a bunch of them.
Yeah, I mean they opened up in Orlando, and they opened up in Davie. And, it's going to be a good competition in the industry, but there's plenty of restaurants around here. And really what kind of separates us from the other box stores, I would say, is the experience and the demeanor of our staff. Everyone customer facing has been here for 4 or 5 years plus. We have relationship with our customers and with service companies and installers. And we really want to take care of our customers and make sure that their business is running smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that expertise is kind of what's going to differentiate us from some of the other up and coming big box stores.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, that's
Hey, Joe, I'll reply to your email and I'll put some stuff in there for you.
Fantastic. Yeah, sorry for the late response.
That's all right.
Yeah,
That's
definitely
all right.
looking forward to working with you.
Okay.
Okay, speaking about new openings, Terry, you're
good.
on.
Morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Not for me. I work 6 days a week with my team on getting the restaurant lead reports out every month by the 9th. For the new people here, Jack, what we do is I have an extremely comprehensive report that we do monthly. These are restaurants that are coming into the state, under construction, permitting, just signed leases. There's a column for that, and then there's the restaurant name, then there's the owner, then there's a column for, is it a 2 or 3 story? Does it have a tiki bar? Does it have, outside decking? And because everybody wants to sell maybe outside equipment or patio stuff or, up on the roof, whatever. And then it has the address, and it has the phone number, and it has the email address. And then it has the timeline of about when it's opening. So that report comes out every single month for a year. You can go on the website, you can see the price, and then you can contact me for your price as being in the group, okay? Very important. And I personally, not my team, but I personally guarantee 50 brand new leads every month. And now this does not include what has just opened, which is above that, and they're clearly marked. So there's another 40 up there that have just opened in the last month or so. But I guarantee 50 of the under constructions and things that are being built. So anybody that wants a sample, TERRI at TRNUSA.com. Thank you.
Okay, so I want to double back to Jack now to see if there's anything you might have left out or you want to change or update.
No, nothing I can think of. No, it's yeah, I mean, don't have anything really to add. I guess the only other thing that I might add is just this a validation point. Last year we moved almost 3 billion in cash around for related to digital tips and earned wage access. So been around for almost a decade, but we're not a small shop. We've worked with a lot of the big ones, and we're gonna be here tomorrow, so I don't have to worry about partnering with someone that may be out of business soon. So.
That's good. 3 billion. That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money to move.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm glad you came today, and we look forward to seeing you again. Did I miss anybody? Anybody else have anything they want? Good welfare or anything like?
Well, I'm good and I'm not on welfare, but I do have one little trivia question if anybody wants to hear it.
I'll ask you about that. Yeah.
Right. Drum roll. Okay. Who knows where the first Dairy Queen was in Florida? Nobody look at your computers. Don't cheat.
Miami.
No.
I'm going to guess Pompano Beach because there's a very old Dairy Queen near our store that I go to from time to time.
Not close.
That's a good guess, but no. Okay. It was.
And before you give the answer, Terry, there are 3 other restaurants.
Never mind.
No, those in the same city.
Well, you do. Okay, so no, it's not. Okay, it was. Okay, let me give you the slogan: serving up smiles since 1953.
Orlando, Disney, I don't know.
New Smyrna Beach. It's 72 years old, and the original building is still there.
Wow.
So if you want to go visit, it's at 729 North Dixie Highway in New Smyrna Beach. You'll see the original. They've added big yellow umbrellas in the back, but that's a good piece of info to know. It's useless, but fun.
I read this is not a trivia question, but it's just trivia. It's got nothing to do with the restaurant industry. Well, no, somebody mentioned a million or a couple of billion a few minutes ago, so it popped into my head. How long do you think it would take if you counted from 1 to 1 million, one number per second? How long would it take you to get to 1 million?
2,000 years.
No, it's something like 6 weeks, something like that. But to 1 billion, the difference between 1 million and 1 billion is, it would take you about 6 weeks to get to 1 million. To get to 1 billion is like 16 years. It's like that's the difference between 1 million and 1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Not if you're in the Congress.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Is it 1,999,000,000?
Well, it's 1,000 billion.
Huh?
1,000 billion.
1,000 million is a billion.
1,000. How do you know?
Did the math.
Because he went to school.
Can I see your bank book?
I didn't say
it. With the few minutes that we have left over, I want to tell you a story and ask a question. Terry and I had the an opportunity to meet with another couple and go out for dinner. I'm not going to mention where or who, but it was the location was out of our most, it was out of our range. We had to drive 40 minutes to get there. And when we got there, this was on a Thursday night. The place has an outdoor tiki bar. It's got indoor seating. It's got outdoor seating covered. And the place at early on a Thursday night was jam-packed. The bar was completely full. Not only was it full, this is the point I'm trying to make. This is my column for March, and the topic of my column is doing it wrong, but yet being successful. To get to the restaurant, there was no signage whatsoever for the restaurant, and it was not on a main street. It was parallel to a main street. So you had to come off of 95 and try and find this little street that you had to turn down. So after a series of U-turns, we found the right street and we drove in, and we had to drive through a gauntlet of cars that were parked on both sides of the street in various forms to get to a parking lot that was right next to the tiki bar. And that's what you overlooked when you were at the bar. They took us to our table, sat us, and handed us the menu. The theme in restaurants now, you see all these experts on TV, Gordon Ramsay and all the other guys. They're trying to reduce the size of the menus in a restaurant. This was like a menu that you would see in a diner in New Jersey on Route 46. It was huge. It was huge. They had all different kinds of food, from Italian to Greek, American. It was all over the place. So we ordered, food came out, no problems with the food. We enjoyed ourselves. We left, everybody was happy. The following week, Terry was in conversation with a friend of hers, told her about the place, and we decided to go the following Saturday. But knowing that it was crowded, we tried to make a reservation. So we called to make a reservation, and their phone wasn't working. It was, we got a recording that the phone was not in use. So we told the couple that we were going to go with, who lived in that area. So they went over there on a Saturday afternoon at 3:30 in the afternoon of the night that we were going to go there, and found the place was jam-packed on a Saturday afternoon. Walked into the hostess station and told them that their phone wasn't working. And they were told, we don't have a phone. We don't have, so our friend said, how do you make a reservation? She says, you have to email the owner and he will make the reservation for you.
Wow.
I mean, how many things did they do wrong in this conversation? I'm sure I left out a couple, but how many things did they do wrong and yet are still incredibly successful? Now, how does that happen?
It's called word of mouth. Word of mouth.
A lot of word of mouth. There were 200-300 people there, it seemed like.
Oh, always.
Right?
Yeah. And they have several bars. It's not just one or two. They have 3 or 4 outside. They have a little game room, a little video game room inside. It's not for kids. It's only for adults. Massive. I mean, and the place is like a little dump when you look at it. And then you go in and you're like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Food is good, reasonably priced.
Yeah. But it's any expert in the restaurant field will look at what they did and say they're going to fail. But they've been there for years and they're doing great. So good for them.
Well, now no one's going to read your column. You just told them.
Tell everybody else to read it. Anyhow, Well, we've reached the end of our allotted time. I want to thank Jack, our new face. Thanks for coming. Thank everybody else for coming. And we'll see you all next week. Oh, before I leave, if anybody wants, I suggest and I recommend that you schedule yourself for a presentation in front of the group so that we get to know what your company does a little bit better, and the people watching can get to know you a little bit better, and so that we can help you more. So if you want to schedule a presentation, Joe, you could do it from the warehouse. You can show everybody the stock. And
share screen. So you need to do a presentation, AI or whatever, you can share a screen.
All right, so we'll see you all next week.
Mhm.
Have a great weekend, and let the sauce be with you.